Welcome to Buck TV News. I'm Brian Lehman, and joining me today is Zach Clark, General Manager of the Johnson City Baseball Club, formerly affiliated with the St. Louis Cardinals. Zach, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I've been looking forward to it, and better than just about anybody that the Johnson City went from winning the Appalachian League in 2019 to looking like it could lose its baseball club, and now the Appalachian League is experiencing a rebirth.
Yeah.
For those who might not be familiar with what's happened, can you summarize, explain how the state of the Appalachian League has evolved over the last several months?
Yeah, so, dating back to like the middle of 2019, even during that season, we started to hear a lot of whispers from Major League Baseball and some folks in minor league baseball that there may be a restructuring of minor league baseball coming down the line, and that our league might be in the crosshairs. Basically, what Major League Baseball wanted to do was restructure the minor league system to go from basically having rookie league, advanced rookie, short A, high A, double A, triple A, which maybe a lot of people don't realize there was that many levels, but there were, to basically just two A levels of A ball, double A, and triple A. So 4 affiliates as opposed to 7, sometimes more. But when we caught wind of that, we realized that, there might be an issue at hand coming down, because also what we realized is the current agreement between Major League and Minor League Baseball, otherwise known as the PBA, was set to expire September 30th of 2020. So that's when we first kind of realized we had a problem, and we started to, we just started having discussions with our affiliates, with minor league baseball, with Major League Baseball. Is this true? What's going to happen? What can we expect? And, we found out that that's what they wanted to do, and the Appalachian League was probably going to lose its affiliation. Once we hit the first of the year, the discussions had kind of changed to basically be that we have a fighting chance. The Appalachian League might survive. We might not have to go down this road. And then COVID hit, unfortunately, which was kind of the final blow, if you will, the last straw that kind of forced Major League Baseball to say, okay, this is the direction that we're going to go in. From that point, we really just started asking the questions like, what do we have to do to survive, and how can we survive? What format would we survive in? We don't want to lose our teams. And Major League Baseball came up with this new collegiate wood bat league format that we're going to join. And fortunately, the Appalachian League was their top league on their list to fulfill the need that they had of a premier developmental series for rising freshmen, rising sophomores in college. So we jumped on that. All 10 teams in the Appalachian League were very excited about it, and from there we started to kind of pick up some momentum. And with last week's announcement, we're saved. We're going to have baseball in all 10 of our communities, but in Johnson City as well, for the foreseeable future. And it's going to be, really comparable baseball to what we had with the minor league system.
Yeah, I thought that was a great solution. And when I saw that announcement, I was pretty excited about it myself.
Yeah, it really is. It's very exciting. I mean, the last thing we wanted was to lose baseball here in Johnson City. And, for the folks that aren't familiar, my first year in Johnson City was right around 2014, the 2014 season. And at that time, Johnson City baseball hadn't really become what it is even now in our community. A lot of folks didn't know that, Johnson City baseball existed, didn't know that we were affiliated with the St. Louis Cardinals. Not many people were coming to games, and, the growth that we've seen over the last several years, last 6 years, has been amazing, and we didn't want to lose that momentum. The fan base has come out in droves to support the team. I mean, we've made a lot of changes, a lot of significant changes at the ballpark, but we didn't want to see those go to waste. We didn't want to see it end, and this is a perfect transition for us.
So as the general manager, I want to get your personal perspective. You're in a league that's transitioning. What did it look like from your point of view as all this was going on as an employee?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, right? Because at the beginning of it, you're like, as the general manager, like, we're going to lose our team. We're going to lose our affiliation. Like, there's no need for me anymore. If we don't have a team, I don't have a job, right? So that, that initial fear of what's going to happen, how's this going to play out, we've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this over the years to make it pretty special. And the fear of it going away, even, on that side of it alone, was enough. But personally, as the general manager, as an employee, somebody who deeply cares about baseball here in this community, the initial reaction was fear, paralyzing fear. I mean, I didn't want to lose my job, but I didn't want our community to lose its baseball team either. So, I had that initial shock, and then really we rolled up our sleeves as a league. The league was in agreement, the 10 teams in the league, and all of our meetings. Look, it's probably not going to maintain. The league's not going to maintain itself as what it was. Like, we're probably not going to stand by and be in minor league baseball anymore. It's just not going to happen. So what can we do? And when that happened, when we kind of made that determination, that realization as a league, we rolled up our sleeves and we found a way for us to survive. And now it's just elation. I mean, the fear that I had has now been replaced by joy. You know what I mean? So it's been a roller coaster. It's been really mentally exhausting. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just been a lot of ups and downs, and going from the lowest low to now the highest high. I mean, I think this new league is going to be just as good, if not better, than what we had before. And I think there's reason to believe it's absolutely going to be better. So to go from the lowest low to now having something that we genuinely believe is going to be better than what it was before, it's pretty incredible.
So you mentioned that it looked like it could go away completely. Exactly how close was it to just no baseball, no Appy League?
Yeah, I mean, without Major League Baseball coming to the table with this, this collegiate wood bat idea, it would be gone. So, I mean, we didn't know this was an option. We didn't know this was something that Major League Baseball wanted to produce. Effectively, they already have something very similar to this in the Cape Cod area. It's the Cape Cod League, and it's very similar, but it's the older kids, right? We're getting the freshmen, sophomores. They're getting the older kids. So, we didn't realize this was even something that they had desired, right? And then I would say I probably first heard about this, I don't know, it was during the summer. I mean, it was July, August maybe, the first time I heard that this was, something. So up until that point, we were talking about, can we create our own league? Would we have to join an independent league? Would we have to join a pre-existing collegiate wood bat league? Like, what are our options for us to survive just as, individual clubs, but now where Major League Baseball has brought this back, to say, hey, here's something your whole league can do to survive. And honestly, as an idea is, it's coming together and it's building momentum to be something bigger than what we had before. It's just amazing. I'm blown away. I'm shocked that we have this opportunity, and I am very excited about it. So to go from what can we do and not having any options to this, I mean, we were dead in the water, So to answer that question directly, I mean, I at a certain point, and I don't remember exactly what time of the year it was on the calendar, but at a certain point, I thought we were, done for all intents and purposes. And then this popped up, and it was just like, whew, here we are, and now we've got this amazing opportunity. So it's pretty surprising.
That's an incredible turnaround, and you're excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. Tell me, why should the fans, the people in the community here in Johnson City and the Tri-Cities region, why should the fans be excited about it too?
Yeah, I mean, the fans should be excited because what the difference in this league between the Appalachian League, where we were affiliated with minor league baseball, and the Appalachian League, as it will be with the collegiate summer, is a lot of our talent, a lot of our kids that are going to be playing in this league are going to come from extremely familiar places, right? Meaning we'll get a lot of kids from these Power 5 conferences, the Vanderbilts, the Tennessees, the Kentuckys, Virginia Tech, Duke, Clemson, Miami, Florida State, what you name it, the baseball powerhouses across the country at the collegiate level will be drawing talent from. And then we'll also at the same time be supplementing that talent with local talent. So if you think about, the ETSUs, the Middle Tennessee States, you know, the mid-major conferences across the landscape, there's some extremely good talent. I mean, look at Landon Knack, who was drafted in the second round by the Dodgers last year. The mid-majors have unbelievable talent as well. So USA Baseball, who has been tasked with providing us the talent, is scouring the country at the collegiate level for the most draft-ready available talent that there is. So that being said, everybody in this league should be drafted. Okay, in theory. I mean, it's not always going to happen. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to have 300 guys in this league at 30 guys per team. So it's not always going to happen that way. But in theory, every guy should be drafted. Now, if you look at the makeup of the Cardinals roster in the Appalachian League last season, I think we had 7, and it might have been 8 drafted players. Everybody else was a free agent signing. So that doesn't necessarily mean that these players in this collegiate woodbat league are going to be exponentially better than the players that are on the Cardinals roster. Those players are already in the minor league system. But in theory, we're going to get guys that are going to get drafted, and they're going to get drafted by everybody. So we aren't going to be just limited to the Cardinals players. We're going to have players that get drafted throughout the entire draft. So in theory, where the Cardinals only typically have 1 first-round draft pick a year, we might get 2 first-round draft picks one year. We might get 3. I mean, it just depends on how well these guys develop and progress through their careers. But that's what the fans should be really excited about, is the level of talent is going to be much deeper, in my opinion. And the top end, front of the line talent is still going to be there. I mean, the Appalachian League produces top end talent year over year over year. We're still going to have that here, but I think the talent pool is going to be deeper in this league as well.
You mentioned we're going to get some local kids in the Appy League. What does this new setup with the collegiate player pool, what does that do for collegiate baseball recruiting for universities like ETSU around the region?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to help. It's going to help in a lot of ways, because this league really does become the premier collegiate woodbat league in the country as far as talent goes. So being that there are many, many colleges in this footprint already, it makes it that much easier to pull that talent to it. But USA Baseball is going to scour the country. They're going to uncover every stone to find that talent. So it will help in a lot of ways to have for those colleges in this footprint that are going to be here, be around. They can get their guys here quickly. We can create pipelines, if you will. But at the end of the day, I really do think that USA Baseball's primary focus is going to be to get the top 300 players in the country, whether they're out on the West Coast or over on the East Coast or here or what. But if you're a player in high school and you want to be a part of something like this, it doesn't hurt to be in this footprint. And I think it will in a lot of ways help. And what it will also do is it will draw attention to the region. Right. So you'll have more scouts around, you'll have more recruiters around, you'll have more eyes on the region in general, which is going to help certainly high school baseball in a lot of ways, but definitely the recruiting process at the collegiate level as well.
Certainly can't be a bad thing for sports in the region. That's for sure.
It's going to help everything along the way.
But let me transition to a more technical question. What's the significance of the new Appy League being a wooden bat league?
Yeah, just the significance there is because the college, as we know, the college kids, they still use metal bats, but in the summer, the scouts like to see what the kids can do with wood bats, because as they transition into minor league baseball and hopefully on up to Major League Baseball, they'll be asked to use wood bats. So giving the scouts every opportunity to see these players. Yeah, they see them all spring long at their colleges, at the ETSUs and the Tennessees of the world, and they're using metal bats. Well, using a wood bat is a whole new world. It's a whole new ball game, and a guy that's using a metal bat is going to hit the ball a little bit harder, a little bit farther than, they naturally would be able to with a wood bat. So being able to actually see what they can do with a wood bat in their hands consistently over the course of a 56-game season helps the scouts a lot. So that's the significance is, let's put them on the same playing field that our other minor leaguers are going to be on and see what they can do in that scenario. So that's where that comes from.
I wanted to ask you, what does this mean for the region economically?
Oh, this is a great question, first of all, and it can't be understated. Our teams in our league, especially in the Western Division, which is Bristol, Johnson City, Greenville, Kingsport, and Elizabethton, we did a economic impact study. So when we thought that we were no longer going to be a part of the minor league system, we wanted to understand and see exactly what the economic impact of our teams in our region produced. And we, I believe the Appalachian League published the study, for everybody, but each team did their own study and then put it into it. And I don't want to speak for all the other markets because I don't know the ins and outs like I do here, but here locally with just the Johnson City Cardinals alone, our economic impact was over $2 million in just 34 games, right? So if you look at that and you expand that across the rest of the Tri-Cities and then the footprint of the Appalachian League, even if our impact was the average, that's a $10 million impact. Or I'm sorry, that's a $20 million impact because there's 10 teams in our region. And then there's a second study done with the charitable donations that the Appalachian League puts out into their communities. And I would have to double check the numbers on this. And this study was published as well. But I think we did just a shade over $1.7 million in contributions to our communities as a league, which was better than like 5 other leagues in minor league baseball. And that was some single A leagues and other short season leagues and things like that. Some much bigger markets that we were really, competing with to be better than. So the impact cannot be, understated that, we had a strong footprint in this community and that's not going away. And I think that's one of the most important takeaways here is like, yeah, we didn't want our baseball teams to go away because it was a great source of entertainment. It was cheap. It's family friendly. It's fun. The rivalries are fun. The Johnson City and Elizabethton rivalry is fun. The Kingsport Bristol rivalry is fun, right? Those are all fun. That's all fun. But the economic impact is pretty amazing for these, these little clubs that play 34 home games. And now that's not going away. So that's good.
All right, helps the college kids, helps the clubs, helps the community. Good deal. Just a couple more questions here.
Sure.
I know it's probably early in the process, but can you give us an idea of what the Johnson City Club might be called and what it might look like since it's going to be rebranding here?
Yeah, so I can't say a whole lot, but what I will say is we're going through right now. We're working off of a short list of about 10 names that we really like, and we initially, and this was a couple weeks ago, we submitted a list of names that we liked to Major League Baseball, and we had a discussion with them because they have a strong say in how all of our new branding is going to look for all of our teams. So we eliminated a few, we added a few. We've been kind of playing that game. For us, what we really are focused on is what is a grassroots local tie to our community that's going to mean something to the people of Johnson City. We have been the Cardinals since 1975, and I think that does mean something to some people, but let's face it, if you're a Cubs fan and the Cardinals are your biggest rival, you're probably not – the Cardinal moniker is not really going to mean anything to you. It's just going to be your local minor league baseball team. So we're looking for something that's very local, that has deep roots, deep meaning in our community. So we've been looking – Johnson City, for example, Johnson City started as a train depot. Right. The story goes, when we were founded as a train depot, and then we became a boom town because of the success that we were having with the train depots and the rail yards and things like that. So that would be something that was very local. So we're scouring through our history and looking at everything to do with trains and the depot and things like that. Now, our name may or may not have anything to do with trains, but those are the type of things that we're looking into. We're looking at, specific things to our region. So is there anything that sticks out? Is there a specific animal that's very important to our region? Over in Knoxville, they're the Tennessee Smokies because of the Smoky Mountains and everything going on. They're a Cubs affiliate, but as we know, there's a lot of black bears in the Smoky Mountains, right? So a bear mascot makes a lot of sense for them as being the Smokies. So what can we do here locally to make that same kind of connection and that same kind of tie to our community, that mascot and that logo is really going to mean something to our folks and that they can be proud to wear it on their chest or on a cap or anything like that. So those are some of the, the things that we're considering and looking at. We've got on that list, we've got different things from animals and, plants and, there's crazy things on there. So we're looking at everything. There's nothing that we're, leaving off the list for any particular reason. We just want to make sure that when we come up with a name, it's something that's going to mean something here.
All right. Thank you for that insight. Last question here. Do you anticipate similar college summer leagues popping up around the country?
That's a really good question. Maybe. I guess that's my best answer, and I'll explain because for us, we're so incredibly lucky that USA Baseball and Major League Baseball made this partnership to create a new collegiate wood bat league, and then pick the Appalachian League as the home for that league. Okay, so we're unbelievably lucky that happened. That's incredible. They didn't have to pick our league. They could have picked several of the leagues, maybe out west or up in the Northeast that are going away. There's 4 other leagues going away in minor league baseball that are looking for homes. But our league made the most sense because of travel and just logistically. Our league made too much sense. So we got picked, right? And we're extremely fortunate and blessed that we did. Now, the rest of the teams across the country, because as the reports say, there's 42, possibly more teams that are going to get eliminated, and there's a lot of whole leagues on that list. The list is arbitrary, okay? Nobody knows exactly who's on the chopping block and not. But what we do know is short season baseball is effectively going away. So you look at the short season teams across the country, and you can pretty much assume that they're going to be gone. So in order for those teams to survive, they're going to have to find a collegiate wood bat league. They're going to have to find an independent league. Typically, independent leagues aren't financially sustainable. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm thinking of the Pioneer League out west, for example. If those 8 teams decided that they wanted to put together a collegiate wood bat league and operate like that, they could easily do so. But where we're so lucky and fortunate is we've already got the financial backing and the partnership with Major League Baseball and USA Baseball. So it's not going to just be that easy, but they could easily do it. You could put the league together and you could recruit college kids to come in and play in your league. And that's how the CPL does it. That's how the Northwoods League, works and everything like that. So you can do it, but we're so lucky to have the partnership with Major League Baseball and USA Baseball that we have. So, the easiest answer is maybe. Those teams are definitely going to want to survive, right? They're not going to want to see their teams go away either. But it just depends on what makes the most sense for them. If they can find an independent league that already exists or a collegiate wood bat league that already exists, it might be easier just to slide into one of those as opposed to taking the whole league and recreating a wood bat format. So I could see it happening, but I haven't heard any rumors of it coming together either. So maybe is the best answer that I got for that.
Well, Zach, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Johnson City baseball team take off next summer. So again, this is Zach Clark, General Manager for the Johnson City Baseball Club. And for Buck TV News, I'm Brian Lehman. Campus news will be coming your way on Wednesday.